You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
Alright, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Brown Mamba Radio. For those out there who don't know, my name is Jackson, and happy Monday to everybody. Happy Rusev Day. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed your weekend. After a short week, last week it was, like I said, it's good to hopefully get things back on track. I know I need to get things back on track this week. Sorry for not getting back at you guys on Friday. Like I said, just the short week from the Memorial Day weekend kind of threw me off. Like I said, had a bunch of other stuff going on, whatever. Anyway, trying to get back in the swing of things. Coming at you guys on a Monday. Going to recap what happened this weekend and a little bit of what happened last week. I know it was not the week to want to take a week off, especially in the world outside of sports. But first, I'm going to start obviously with the wild world of sports. Most notably, NBA Finals just got started. Like I said, I'm not going to, beat it to death, with a bunch of analysis or anything like that, because it's all out there. And honestly, there's not a whole lot to analyze here. We got the Warriors and the Cavs again. This doesn't look like it's going to go more than about, 4 or 5 games, just being completely honest. Like I said, and honestly, it's kind of what we expected. It's definitely not been, it's like, so far it's been the outcome we expected. It's just how the means of getting there wasn't exactly how we expected it. Game 1 was close. It took the Warriors overtime to take down LeBron, 124 to 114. And LeBron just that record setting performance, 51 points, the most for LeBron's career. I know that for a fact. I know it's way up there in finals history. But again, 51 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. Just dominating the whole time. Played all 48 minutes. Played 48 minutes. Like I say, considering they went to overtime. But came up short, obviously. As again, everyone knows why. I'm not going to go too much into the J.R. Smith thing, but I know I have to acknowledge it. I tweeted stuff about it. Everyone tweeted stuff about it. It was all over, NBA Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram. It was all over the regular news, everywhere, like I said, it's. I feel bad for J.R. Smith, kind of, especially since, they carried it over into Game 2, with the MVP chants and all that stuff. And, it's like I said, I feel bad for the guy because, obviously never having done anything that bad. But if you've played sports, that if you played sports for a long time, like I have, or a lot of people I know, or anyone out there that's listening, every now and then it's going to happen where, you, for whatever reason, you cost the team a game. It just the way it works out sometimes, and it's a shitty feeling. And for it to happen in the finals, on the last possession of the game, and the way it happened, it's just, and of all people to have it happen to J.R. Smith, who has a history of goofing and stuff like that. So it's tough, man. It's really tough. But like I said, he completely deserves it. Like I said, that was easily one of the just the only way I can really explain it is I just cannot believe it happened. You're a professional athlete, and it's like the finals, and it's just crazy. Like I said, it's just crazy. I still can't believe it happened. But at the same time, as much as J.R. Smith's fault it was, a lot of people were letting George Hill off the hook. He should have made that free throw, man. Their free throws are free, and I know everyone's not going to be 100%, but those are pretty clutch free throws that you got to make. And it's like, George Hill isn't a slouch at the free throw line either, so. But, like I said, it's just crazy how it happened, and that Game 1 for the Cavs was, if they wanted to, if they needed it, that was their best chance of stealing a game. If they wanted to have a chance to win this finals, they needed to steal the game, and that was the game that that was the game that they had the best chance to steal it. Because game 2 was a completely different story. Just a good old-fashioned Warriors blowout win, 122 to 103. And the score, although the score shows that it was a blowout, it wasn't really a blowout the whole time. The guys were everybody was cooking, or everyone was playing well. But most notably Steph, Chef Curry got cooking, like legit cooking. You know what I mean? With 33 points. Whereas 7 boards, whereas the rest of it, 8 assists. But then he had the whole big thing was the 9 threes that he knocked down, 9 huge threes, and I wanted to mention this, but damn it, the Podfather beat me to it last night on the Bill Simmons podcast. But as good, as much as the Warriors fans, quote unquote fans, love all the guys on the team, like Steph and Clay, Draymond, KD, guys like that, and as much as important as KD was for winning the title last year, and as important as all the other guys are on the team, nothing gets that crowd going, and quite frankly, nothing gets quite the reaction like when Steph gets hot like that, and he just starts knocking shit down from everywhere. Like that crazy ass, when the shot clock was running out, he just threw up that prayer from about 45 feet, it seemed like, and then wetted that shit, wetted it. It wasn't even like it rattled around, banked it, and he wetted it. So it's like I said, there's nothing quite like it when Steph gets going. You know what I mean? Just go back and look at all the other times that he's gotten hot like that. Most notably the one where he was, I think in like 2012 or whatever, when he was against the Knicks, when he had like 54 points. Like that game is crazy. So like I said, and then just all the other times that Steph's gotten hot in Oracle. But yeah, it was like I said, but as much as that was going on, and as many big shots that Steph was hitting, or KD was knocking, it seemed like KD knocked down another turnaround jump over somebody, or anything like that. You just kept looking at the score, and it was still pretty close. Like, oh damn, it's only a 5-point game. Like my friends and I, we had the same reactions every shot. We were going, oh, like everyone else. But we looked up and we're like, hey man, it's a 4-point game. Or it's a 6-point game. It's still close. But only until about the fourth quarter is when they really started to, the boat race was on. So, but yeah, like I said, everyone, it's just a typical, Warrior series so far. We're getting the same production we've seen from KD. Game 2 was a lot better than game 1, that's for sure. And Kevin Durant is the only guy, who we can say, or one of the only guys except for his buddy over there on the other side, LeBron, who, can finish with 26 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and say that he had an okay game. But honestly, it's because his field goal percentage isn't that great, and it's just, like you look and you're seeing, like looking at it, it looks like KD didn't have that great of a game, And like I said, people know what I'm talking about, and all you you stat nerds and all that shit, or all you other guys that say, well, KD's one of the best, blah, blah, blah. It's like, we know he's the best. But he just visually watching him on the court, it doesn't look right. Even though his stat line is amazing, like I said, 26 points, 9 for 10 from the free throw line, that's a big help. But just like you watch it and you're like, dang, it's like he looked like he's missing a lot more shots than he's making, and that's because he was. And he was in the conference finals. He has been so far. Or at least it was in game 1. But like I said, game 2, much better, much more efficient, KD-like game. You know what I mean? He just had. They really don't have anyone that can guard him, and it just seems like anyone they throw on him, he'll just turn around and just shoot right over him. Like I said, 10 for 14, 2 for 3 from 3-point land, made all his free throws, 4 for 4. And again, another big stat line, 26 points, 9 boards, 7 assists. You know what I mean? So like I said, KD's getting it done. I'm not saying he's not getting it done. Like I said, it's just it just hasn't seemed like as KD like as it has been in the past. But speaking of other guys that are producing, like I said, the Cavs, like I said, they need to have people step up. And Kevin Love is definitely stepping up for the Cavs right now. Obviously, it's not enough. You know what I mean? They're going to need help from everywhere else. But in these past 2 games, Kevin Love is averaging at least 20 points, knocking down threes, and he's not, like I said, not just getting the points, but he's grabbing board. Look at that. In game 1, he had 21 and 13. Last night he had, yesterday afternoon he had 22 and 10. Like I said, Kevin Love is getting it done, man. He's doing all he can despite his ugly ass haircut. Kevin Love, he's doing his thing. He's trying, and it's just everyone else not really doing much else, And like I said, that's been the story of the Cavs all season long. But they're going back home for Game 3 and Game 4. And like I said, we all know what the Cavs got to do. Like I said, they gotta win these games here if they want to stay in it. Like I said, they gotta have one of those games where, everybody gets hot and everyone's hitting out their, Korver's knocking down their threes. J.R. Smith redeems himself knocking down his threes. Maybe a little bit is here and there from, George Hill or Clarkson, who is, forgot to mention Clarkson. Man, oh man. I love Jordan Clarkson. I love him as a Laker fan. As a Laker fan, I loved him when he was here. I used to see him out sometimes, and like me and my friends would geek out. We like, shit, Jordan Clarkson. We love Jordan Clarkson as a player. He was a great guy to watch. He was a cool dude to have around the team and stuff like that. But oh my God, he is killing the Cavs right now. He is absolutely killing the Cavs. Just 2 for 9 in game 1, only 4 points. And then just bad shots, too, in game 1. Just really bad shots. 1 for 4 in game 2, just like I said. And like I said, I love Clarkson, man. I love Jordan Clarkson. I hate for him to see him play like this and to see everybody slander him and libel him on the internet and shit like that. But like I said, he deserves it, man. He's just not playing well right now. And, his energy's there, you know what I mean? And his enthusiasm is there, which is what you want. Like I said, he's not afraid of the moment, but, sometimes he's got to be a little smarter than that and, just make the better basketball play. And like I said, I know his whole thing is like he comes off the bench and he's trying to score, but and I said it before, but man, it's just like he was. I mean, he wasn't horrible with the Lakers. He was pretty good, but hey, man, there's no Melrose, there's no Rodeo, there's no Wilshire, or there's no Fairfax or anything like that in Cleveland. There's no cool trendy streets like that we have here in LA out there in Cleveland. And so it seems like Jordan Clarkson lost all his superpowers, man, when he kept hanging out on Melrose in the off season or on the off days and stuff like that. So but yeah, they, like I said, I digress. They got to get back to getting help from those guys. Like I said, they have to hit their threes. That's the thing. They have to hit their threes. It's not even just making buckets. They got to hit their threes now. And it's got to be a combination of LeBron having another game like he had, last night or in game 1. Like I said, we're not going to see him put on 50 every time, but we're going to need to see him get him around 40. And he could do that. Maybe, like I said, it can happen. And, I know, like I said, I'm not breaking any news here, but don't be surprised if we see LeBron get to the line like 69 times on Wednesday. Like I said, don't be surprised. He's gonna be, like I said, he's gonna be he'll knock his outside shots down, but just expect LeBron to just try to get to the line more. Look for him to just put his head down, do that bully ball, shoulder, where he's mastered the move where to avoid to create the separation without getting called for the offensive foul, because they call the offensive foul when you get the extension of the off arm, but he's mastered it where he doesn't extend his forearm. He just chicken wings you a little bit and he hits you, and first of all, he's strong as fuck, so that's why he's strong enough to do it, and he's able to bully you just with his shoulder, and it's not so much where it's like such a blatant offensive like just I'm trying to knock the shit out of you, but he'll chicken wing you enough to get the separation and then go up with the other hand. But he's mastered that. Look for a lot of that. Look for that crazy, off balance runner where he's floating to his left and then shooting it with his right hand off the wrong foot or whatever. Look for that. Like I said, look for him to do all the dirty work down low and try to get his guys going around on the outside. And like I said, that's what they're gonna need to do, because if the Warriors come out shooting like they did in game 2, like I said, it's going to be a wrap. We might be the Warriors might be celebrating in Cleveland after only 4 games. So, like I said, and then but regardless of whatever happens, it's just I think we all know how this series is going to play out, and I just feel like the Warriors are going to win this series again, sooner rather than later. But last thing before I move on, I just got to point out that, as kind of like lackluster, I guess, this series has been. It hasn't been like a great series by any means. But I will point out that it feels as if the animosity between these teams is getting real. It's like I said, especially because this is their 4th time playing each other now, and the first time, it's kind of like, all right, we're seeing each other for the first time. It's like those it's a little healthy, friendly competition. You know what I mean? Like, I want to win, you want to win, so we're gonna do whatever we can to win. But at the end of the day, we're still all competitors, and we're just the NBA fraternity, brotherhood, blah 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 bullshit, and that's how it is afterwards. But, like I said, after a couple times of playing the same team over and over again, like I said, and seeing those same guys and for, extended periods of time, you know what I mean? Like I said, it gets kind of real, Eventually some, stuff is said, and especially with such volatile characters out there, like Draymond, LeBron, Tristan Thompson, LeBron, Steph, who's no fucking slouch himself, as he's shown right now. He is not a slouch, and he's not afraid of anybody. Kendrick Perkins mixing it up on the sidelines, a little bit. And like I said, there's a lot of shit talking going on. And like I said, it stems from, like I said, these guys playing each other so long, or so many times now in the finals, and, and LeBron's probably sick of, Steph and the Warriors taking his chips, you know what I mean? And then when he won, they were doing all the petty shit. He had the Ultimate Warrior shirt. And then they had the little, I think it was on the cookies at the Cavs Halloween party or something like that, with the RIP or whatever. There was that, and then there was Steph or the other guy, Warrior guys, making fun of the Cavs at the at a wedding or something. You know what I mean? Like, and then like I said, that's personal. That's not that's like they're doing that, not expecting that stuff to get out. You know what I mean? Especially that Cavs Halloween party. So, like I said, these guys, like I said, the animosity and the shit talking feels real, and like I said, that's the most interesting part of the game for me, at least, as far as the X's and O's. Sure, like whatever, we know what we're gonna get, but it's like, oh damn, these guys really kind of, I think they don't like each other, and they're really letting it show. You know what I mean? Like Draymond making fun of Kendrick Perkins on the sideline, talking all that shit. Steph's talking shit to LeBron, and LeBron just pushing him out of the way. Like I said, it's getting testy, and that's the thing that I like about it. Like I said, it's gonna get crazy. Things might get crazy, and down in Cleveland, especially. Like I said, if the Warriors start blowing things out again, so like I said, look for a lot of stuff a lot of shit to maybe go down. That's what I'm gonna be looking for. But yeah, like I said, it's probably gonna be the Warriors, and like I said, I probably went a little bit too long on this already, but. Rounding out the rest of the wild world of sports, Dodgers, baby. Dodgers looking like they found their groove again. Big series win for them in the division. Swept the Rockies. Moving on up in the division. It's and I I went back and looked. I took a look at it. I'm like, damn man, it's like I thought the NL West was pretty good, but it's pretty mediocre right now. The Dodgers and the Giants are tied at 29 and 30, but they're only 2.5 games back from the Diamondbacks, who are barely 500 themselves. Like I said, pretty mediocre. But like I said, Dodgers narrowing the gap, and even but first and last place are not very far apart, only 5.5 games apart. So it's anyone's race at this point. But like I said, the Dodgers seem to be, getting back on track and getting back into the swing of things. You know what I mean? Speaking of swinging things, Kemp, baby. NL Player of the Week, staying hot. Everybody's favorite Dodger. You know what I mean? Just continues to hit the ball very, very well. Hitting for power. Putting up RBIs, and like I said, he got Player of the Week. So NL Player of the Week, and he got it for a reason. Had a couple big flies in the series against the Rockies. Same thing against or in the series before. Excuse me, I don't have one in front of me right now. The Phillies. God dang, I can't remember the Phillies. Like I said, so they split with the Phillies, but again, this huge sweep against the Rockies. Hopefully, they can keep all this momentum going forward against the Pirates. Like I said, they're still on the road. The Pirates having a little bit of a down year, I guess. So like I said, hopefully they can take advantage of it. Like I said, they got a day off for travel, so that's good. But again, like speaking of guys staying hot, Walker Buehler staying hot, like a young rookie, just looking like a fucking stud. Pause. He's looking really good. And it looks like we also found a gem in Max Muncy. 2 big flies yesterday. Like I said, it's just it just goes to show how good the Dodgers system and organization has been from top to bottom, being able to find these young guys to come in and fill spots, especially when guys go down. You know what I mean? Bueller came in and is doing his thing. Muncy, they called him up, to replace, with Justin Turner was out. And like I said, it's like he's been playing so well, like they can't take him out, so they got to keep him around. And then he's good to have around. He can fill in at third, fill in at first. You know what I mean? So that's good to have. And he's a good big bat now. But like I said, Buehler's staying hot. We need him, especially. The only down thing from this past week or so, Kenta Maeda had to go to the DL. I was watching the game. It looked kind of weird. Like he did look kind of off, and it just obviously, the Dodgers saw the same thing. They pulled him. It turns out he's got some kind of like back or leg injury or something like that that's hindering him. So he's out for a little while, and then they had to put Kershaw back on the DL. For his back again. So it's tough, like I said, it's getting tough, but again, like I said, it's too far along in the season now to still say that it's early, but like I said, I'd rather have them get all that bad baseball out earlier, and then like I said, especially with a guy like Kershaw, and Maeda as well, get them healthy now. Like I said, so that way they can try to make a bigger push towards the end and, get those guys going and get them rolling maybe right after that All-Star break time, so they can build some momentum into making a postseason run. And, if they get into the postseason, being healthy for that. So, like I said, Dodgers looking like they found their groove. Hopefully they can keep it up, at least for the rest of the week. Like I said, until they come back home at the end of the week or beginning of next week. But again, also just the injury bug, man. Last couple of seasons has been the story of the Dodgers, or that's been the thorn in their side, just the little injury bug. But moving on down the 5 to Angel Stadium with the Angels, tough road trip for them. Like I said, it was a long one. They're like I said, just happy to be home. Especially after that road trip. Tough series against the Yankees that they had to eat. Like I said, tough series against the Yankees. They won the series against the Blue Jays. But again, then they lost against the Tigers. And like I said, they're just happy to be home. They just finished off the series against the Rangers, did a good job. Like I said, and then they've been slipping in the standings, especially in division. So like I said, it's a good series, good time to get some wins against the Rangers or interdivisional teams. So that way they can, those wins count a little extra and they can move up a little more. But they, like I said, they have been slipping. I think they are, where is it? I got to pull it up real quick. Yeah, they are third now. 5.5 games back from the Mariners, who again, the one of the big surprise stories from the year, the Mariners. But yeah, like I said, it's just they're happy to be home. They got a nice little home stretch here. The Angels do. Like I said, they finished up with the Rangers, and then they got the Angels before they had to go back on the road. For a little while again, but yeah, Angels, man, they're starting to cool off a little bit, but Trout ain't having none of that shit, man. Trout is just continuing to dominate, trying to repeat as an MVP. Any other year, he probably would repeat, but Mookie Betts, man. Mookie Betts is having a fucking season, man. And it's going to come down to those two guys, I think, in the AL, for MVP. But Trout, man, just making the case and making it tough. Making it very, very tough to have to pick between him and Mookie. So, like I said, Angels, they'll be all right. I think they'll be able to, fix this thing and get things going. But yeah, that's baseball. WWE, yeah, not too much going on with wrestling. Just the main thing is, can it be just Money in the Bank already? I mean, it's the dog days, man. It's the dog days of WWE right now. There's especially, it seems especially so this time or this year, because it's always kind of a dry period between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, but then this time they had WrestleMania. They had, the Greatest Royal Rumble. They also had another pay-per-view right after. So it's kind of like, whoa, like it's just this huge overload of just intense, WWE. And then it kind of just, now it's like, okay, everyone kind of just got deflated a little bit. And it's just a long road to perdition, baby. And like I said, they got a lot of the shows are just like, let's just, Raw and SmackDown have just been, let's just put something on TV to further along the storylines, at least until Money in the Bank, so we can, at least have, try to build for a good pay-per-view. And it seems like, it seems like it's going to be a good pay-per-view. That's why I'm saying, like, just can it be Money in the Bank already? Like I said, I like both matches. I like both Money in the Bank matches, at least, the competitors, the men's and women's side, so that'll be good. Can't say so much about the other storylines, I guess, and the feuds. I don't care about Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. I think they're trying to just see who gets the most boos, or I think that the WWE is trying to set a record for the loudest boos or the longest collective boos in history. Maybe, I don't know, with that match or with this feud. So, let's see how that goes. And then just the Raw Women's division, man, with Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. Like, I just don't understand this feud. It's just so confusing, and so, it's like, is Nia Jax a heel, or is she a face, or is she, how can she, be the face of anti-bullying, but she's kind of being a bully herself? Like, it's just so fucking weird. And then they're just like, do you put the belt on Ronda Rousey already? You know what I mean? But then it just kills this huge push that you made for Nia Jax, but then also you can't have Ronda Rousey lose. So like I said, the only way I can think of what happens in this match is, with Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax, is they're feuding each other, and I think the Riot Squad or some shenanigans is going to happen, and they're going to just just take over the match, and they're going to beat them both up. Like I said, I'm assuming that's what it's going to be, is the Riot Squad is going to just come out there, beat up Ronda Rousey, beat up Nia Jax, just take over the match, and then they have to disqualify the match, or cancel the match or whatever, because outside interference, and then it's going to force Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax to team up so they can defeat the Riot Squad, a 2-on-3 kind of thing. Maybe Natalya goes in there too, I guess. And it's the whole thing where, let's just put our differences aside for a while, because we got to take care of this bigger bully at hand and take care of these bullies, the Riot Squad or whatever. That's just how I think it's going to go. And then they're going to, like I said, hold off their feud together, and then they're going to take care of the Riot Squad at other pay-per-views. But once it gets to SummerSlam, then all of a sudden Rousey's like, wait a minute, okay, we took care of them, but don't think I forgot. Like, you were friends, but don't think I think that's how it's going to go. So, which is fine, I guess. But like I said, that's only if it goes that way. Only if it goes that way. And speaking of stuff I'm not fond of, again, and then not again, but just, well, technically again, just more lack of Brock Lesnar, man. Just no Brock again for a while. The rumor is he's not coming back until SummerSlam, or he's not supposed to do anything with the belt until SummerSlam, which is, like I said, listen, I can't blame Brock, because that's just, like the WWE is like, listen, that's the deal that he made, that they accepted, so why should he have to do anything extra for, you know what I mean? Like sure, you want to have like a defending and a competitive champion or anything like, or a fighting champion, but like I said, this is the era of, we all know the dirt sheets and all that stuff, and so we all know, like, that's just not how Brock's gonna operate, man. And so, like I said, if his deal doesn't say he has to do all that shit, like, why should he? And so. Like I said, it's going to be tough. No Brock Lesnar for a while, so I guess that'll make it cool when he happens again. It's just now we just don't know, who's eventually going to dethrone him or what happens next. So I don't know. But like I said, I just want it to be Money in the Bank already. like I said, these I haven't even been watching Raw or SmackDown on TV lately. I've just been watching the highlights on YouTube or catching up on Hulu or whatever. So, yeah, it's just like I said, it's the dog days, baby. It's the dog days, and the dog days of summer for sports are coming soon too, man. Trust me. When the NBA is done, when the finals are over, and it's still NFL OTAs, and it's like I said, just baseball only. And like I said, as for me, I love me some baseball, so I can watch that shit all day long. But I know for a lot of casual sports fans, baseball isn't the most exciting sport. But like I said, it's gonna be the dog days. You know what I mean, for ESPN and all the other sports guys out there. So like I said, just get ready for it. Like I said, I'm prepping you guys. Don't say I didn't warn you. Last little thing for sports before I move on, the Drew League is back here in LA. So if you're in the LA area, and like I said, if you want to get a hoops fix, you know what I mean. Not only can you go check out the Drew League, but you can also go check out the WNBA, watch the Sparks. You know what I mean. Go check them out as well. But like I said, if you want to see some good competitive basketball here in the LA area, go check out the Drew League. Like I said, it started up again this weekend. Every Sunday for pretty much for the rest of the summer, you know what I mean, if you're in the LA area. And like I said, the best thing about it is you get to see some good basketball, and all these teams, man, like I said, you'll never know who's going to show up. They have a lot of surprise guys come in, you know what I mean, different pros, celebrities, all kinds of people show up, whether they're in the stands or they're actually playing. Like I said, you never know. Like I said, there's always famously Kobe showed up and then had the big duel against James Harden. You know what I mean? Like I said, you just never know who's gonna show up. So, like I said, if you need your hoops fixed, or if you just want to, like I said, it's a good place to hang out and just catch a vibe. Like I said, check out the Drew League. So, you best believe I'm gonna be there. So, like I said, if you're there and I'm there, say what it. So yeah, that's what it was in the world of sports. Not much really happened outside of sports. I guess over the weekend, really. But like I said, I gotta touch on three of the biggest topics, or the three of the biggest things that happened outside of sports, mainly last week. Where do I start, man? All right, so with the Drake and Pusha T thing, so that, like I said, it's cool. I get why it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like it's just rap beef. It's just rap bullshit. Like it happens all the time. But I guess it's like the first real rap beef that we've seen, or especially the SoundCloud generation of rap has seen. So a lot of the internet kids, whatever, like I said, like I was super young when it was when it was Biggie and Tupac. I was too young to really experience it, and all the Ice Cube shit, all that stuff. But I know I saw the Jay-Z Nas stuff happen, the 50 Cent Ja Rule stuff happen, the Nelly and Cannabis shit, whatever. Like I saw all that stuff happen, and like with Common, all those guys, like I lived through that. My younger brother was more into rap and hip hop, so he knows more about this shit than I do. But like I said, just being around it and hearing it and seeing all that shit, MTV, whatever, I saw it. You know what I mean? Like I grew up, we would always try to sneak watching the Beef DVDs and stuff like that. So like I said, and then a lot of people my age or a little older and all that stuff, my generation, we know for this. So it's just like whatever, not like whatever to us, but it's just we've seen the beef, we've seen bigger beefs happen, So like I said, it was cool, it was funny, like I said, but it just seemed like Drake came hard, and it seemed like the Pusha T stuff was a little out of left field, kind of out of nowhere, calling out Drake for having ghostwriters. But it's like, look, man, everybody's got ghostwriters, dude. You know what I mean? I just saw the thing with James Fauntleroy had a piece, or he did an interview, look it up, where he's just like, man, all this shit needs to stop, because everybody has ghostwriters, everybody has ghost producers, everybody got ghosts to this, ghosts to that. So it's like it's like I said, everyone's got that stuff, so it's not new and it's not worth beefing over. You know what I mean? So like I said, there was that. And so, but Drake came out, did his thing, but then he followed it up with, let's just say probably one of the first flops that Drake's had in a while with his new song off Scorpion. I'm upset. Like that song is just sorry, it is not that good. I'm just being honest. You know, like I said, nothing against Drake, and I love Drake. You know, but that song is just not that great. Sorry, I'm upset that that song isn't that good. That's what I'm upset about. But then, you know, then the Memorial Day weekend happened, and then boom, Pusha T dropped, you know, the story of I don't know what, Adidon, however you pronounce it. But then you know, calling out, you know, Drake for, you know, all the shit that he had. And I just want to say, you know, I know that was a big thing with a big part of it was how he called out Drake for having a kid, and I'm pretty sure that this was known, you know, or I feel like, you know, like I swear, I'm like, I've heard that Drake has a kid already before, like a couple years ago. Like I heard about this, and like that this was a thing for a little bit, but it kind of got swept under the rug because, you know, it's Drake is Drake. But that was kind of the biggest takeaway from it was like, Drake has a kid? Oh my God. But I'm like, yeah, hasn't he? I thought this was, like I said, I thought it was known. I saw some people say shit like that too, like on Twitter and stuff. Like, man, I thought everybody knew that Drake had a secret kid or whatever. So but like I said, that was good. And then, like, you know, Pusha T went in. It was pretty funny. And then again with the whole thing with, you know, Drake in blackface, is it a good look? Obviously not. But if you really think that like Drake did that out of malice, and then there obviously wasn't some kind of, and that picture was not taken out of context, then like, one, you're a fucking idiot. Like straight up, I'm sorry to say it. Like I said, like, you're a fucking idiot. Two, it's like, cause it's so like blatant that it's like, okay, cause he's wearing blackface like he's in a minstrel show, and he got the clothes for Jim Crow, whatever. Like, it's obviously trying to send a message for like, you know, the other way about it. And then Pusha T is obvious. That's the only thing I didn't like about it, was that Pusha T is like, you know, trying to flip it, you know, like in a way that he's trying to fake news it, that picture, and fake news that stuff, which, you know, like I said, I get all's fair in beef, you know what I mean? I get it, but, you know, you know, it's like I said, that's the only thing I didn't really like about it, even though he sunned him on that track, you know, like I said, it's stuff. So, but like I said, it came and it went, you know. Apparently Drake's not going to put out a diss record or response back, which is cool, I guess, because I mean, like, listen, just like stop while you're ahead, because like I said, he took 2 L's, you know what I mean, 3 strikes and you're out. He took the L, you know, with the bad song first, then you took the L from the diss track. So just don't try to clap back and take 3, like I said, 3 strikes and you're out. So like, that's a smart part from Drake. But it came in a win, it cooled down, whatever. You know, like I said, Drake's gonna be, they're saying this and that, Drake's gonna be fine. Like I said, this is probably the biggest ego hit that Drake's taken since, you know, I don't even know. But like I said, he'll be fine when his album drops. Everyone's gonna listen to it. Everyone's gonna buy it and stuff like that. So there's that. And then Pusha T's doing well. Like I said, Daytona, you know, is very good. It's not very well. First of all, the production is very good. And like I said, it's good. It's a good album. You know, it's cool. Like I said, I was bumping it, you know, all last weekend and stuff. But you know, like I said, it's good, and everyone's winning right now, so everyone's gonna be fine. They're eventually gonna squash this shit out, and everything's gonna be cool. So, like I said, there was the beef. Speaking of the good production on Daytona, the reason why Mr. Kanye West put out a new album, you know, had the listening party out in Wyoming. It was cool. You know, and it was, look, it was very, very divisive and very, very polarizing. You know, a lot of people were very up in the air, mixed about a lot of things with Kanye. You know, the album itself, you know, a lot of people were like, this shit is trash. A lot of people saying like, wow, this is amazing. I'm more in the middle of it. Like I said, I'm more in the middle. I actually think it's really good. It sounds good, just because it's, I think, what Kanye's changing, I guess, since 808s and Heartbreaks. You know, he was more rapidy rap style, like with the old Kanye. And with 808s and Heartbreaks, he really changed. Obviously, I've said that before, and I'll continue to say it again, that is the game-changing, pivotal album that changed hip-hop, and that changed music in a lot of ways overall. Like I said, in so many ways. One of them is just like, Kanye has like mastered, or he's mastered like the way that like he's like, this shit sounds fire. Like, it sounds good, you know? And you know what I mean? Like, and then where a lot of people have the same reaction. They're like, I heard this song and I'm like, whoa, like when you hear a Kanye song, it makes you feel a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, like, damn, like I mean, like when you hear, Father Stretch Out My Hands, like when you hear that intro, it's like, oh shit, like something's about to happen. You know what I mean? When you hear my beautiful dark twisted fantasy, you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh shit, it's about to make me feel some type of way. Like he's mastered that feeling, and a lot of people, especially with Ghost Town on the album, which is funnily titled Yay. I just think that's the funniest part of it. It's just titled Yay. But like with the song with Ghost Town with Kid Cudi, I saw a lot of the same response. I had the same response. I didn't have it as much. It didn't make me cry, but it made me feel like, oh shit, this shit is crazy. But like I saw a lot of people saying like, damn, that shit made me cry for some reason. I don't know why, or it made me feel very emotional. I don't know why, but I just felt that way. And like I said, that's what Kanye's mastered with a lot of his music. Specific. Specific. Like I said, Life of Pablo really did that. This did it. A lot of his stuff is really doing that stuff. So just as the music goes, I think it's good. Like I said, the beats are very good, the lyrics, whatever. And then there's a whole thing where he came out talking about, he talked about how he changed the lyrics because he thought that everyone was just, it's too sensitive of a subject to talk about, which it is. And this is kind of transitioning into the next thing I want to talk about with it. But, it's, Kanye always talks to himself as an artist, and he is. I get that. And the whole thing with art is it's supposed to be challenging, and it's supposed to be, polarizing, and it's supposed to make you think, and it's supposed to challenge the way you think and challenge the way you see things and whatever. And I get all that. And I get what Kanye's doing. And then there's the whole theories about, like the the Andy Kaufman theory, and he's all performance art and yada, yada, yada. And he's always been very open-minded, open thinker, doesn't give a fuck about what you think about what his thoughts are and all that. I get all that. And, like the whole thing, I talked about in other episodes. You can go hear my thoughts about it, about all the stuff he said with the MAGA hat and all that shit. I get all that. It's just like, then there are some people who won't listen to his stuff because they still can't get over that part, which is fine. I completely respect their decision, and that's their thinking. I respect that as their logic. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, and then shout out to Peter Rosenberg, the mage, the mage Peter Rosenberg. He did a little like live Periscope thingy on Twitter talking about that, because Peter Rosenberg. People say what they want about Peter Rosenberg, but he's a real one, like hip hop to his core, and I respect him a lot. I know a lot of people don't, but like I said, whatever. For a lot of it's for dumb reasons. But anyway, he did a little thing we're talking about, and he's like, listen, man, he's like, he loves Kanye, and I love Kanye, and a lot of people love Kanye, and he's like, and they like the album, it's good, but they're just not going to support it the way that other people are. Like he's listened to it and he likes it, but he's not going to spin it on Hot 97 when he's the DJ, because he was doing so many horrible things, and they were really bad things. He was doing a whole lot of bad things, doing the press tour. Like essentially he was doing it for the press tour for his album, and that's exactly what he was doing. He knows what he's doing, but the worst part was he knew what he was doing to an extent. Like he knew he was just trying to get buzz for his album, and we all knew he knew that. But the thing was, when he claims the way he was going about it, obviously, was dangerous, because he was trying to use these polarizing topics, like wearing the MAGA hat, talking with all these conservative, borderline racist, bigoted, people, and using them as mouthpieces and stuff like that, and doing the whole thing at TMZ with slavery, talking about slavery as a choice and all that shit. And like I said, I get what he was trying to do, but it's dangerous when you're essentially talking out the side of your neck about that stuff. And it's like everyone all said the same thing about it. It's like he's like, sure, he's talking about this stuff, but he's talking about this stuff without really knowing what he's talking about, and he's like just using these trigger words and using all these things to just generate a reaction, and like I get it, like I get he's trying to spark conversation. His whole thing is like, don't tell me what I'm supposed to think, blah blah blah. Like I said, again, it's all this stuff I talked about in past episodes. You can find them, but it's and I respect Peter Rosenberg's decision to not want to spin Kanye's records on while he's there. I completely respect that as well, because again, we need a better explanation from Kanye other than, oh, blah blah blah, like trying to, like I said, nothing against mental illness, but trying to put the blame on mental illness, so maybe he does have a mental illness. I'm not saying he doesn't. I know he said he does and all this stuff, but like I said, it's just it's it's very sticky situation with Kanye stuff, and it's again, it's like I said, he's been no stranger to controversy, no stranger to being polarizing or anything like that in the past. So, like I said, he's not going to stop now. But like I said, and then it's just it's a lot of, again, it all goes back to, again, another question of, can you separate the art from the artist? And some people can, some people can't. It's tough, I know it's tough. And again, another topic that I've talked about, you can find it. It's there. I don't need to go into too much depth on it right now, but I talk about that. So like I said, go look for it. It's there. It's again, like I said, I listened to the Kanye album. It's good. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. It's not as bad as everyone else says. But again, like Kanye stuff, it's just like a lot of the stuff that Kanye's been putting out lately. Everyone's like, I don't. This is horrible. I don't like it. I said everyone said about Yeezus. Specifically, everyone said about Yeezus. That's what a lot of people said about Life of Pablo. But now everyone loves. A lot of people love Life of Pablo. People are like, wow, Yeezus was actually really great because it actually, because so like I said, it's gonna give it some time. It's gonna it's gonna grow on people, and then people are gonna realize like what it is and stuff like that. So there's that. But it also, part of it is because Daytona, Pusha T's album, the production was so good on it because Ye did it. Again, Kanye West produced everything on this Ye album, and then now it's making everyone look forward to the upcoming collaboration album that Kanye's got with Kid Cudi, where he produced everything. So like I said, especially because, again, a lot of people's favorite song on this new album is Ghost Town, the one that has Kid Cudi on the hook, doing his Kid Cudi thingy, you know what I mean? So like I said, so I think that's part of why people like this Kanye, or like, well, obviously people like Kanye because a lot of them are sheep for Kanye, but a lot of people, it's like I said, it's the Daytona production was good, the Ye production is good, so everyone's just excited for this new Cudi album. So I know I am. So like I said, that's coming later. That's coming soon. So hopefully it lives up to the hype. And then last thing, a lot of kind of negative sounding things. I'm sorry about this, guys. A lot of negative sounding things, guys and girls. And I feel like I just have to talk about it, just whatever, the Roseanne thing. It happened. Tried to she did the whole thing where she talked about I can't remember her name. I'm sorry for forgetting her name, but she used to work with Obama. Said that she looked, she's African American, and then said she looked like the child of a Planet of the Apes and a Muslim person or whatever, and very racist. But then she, Roseanne tried to claim that she was on Ambien, and I'm sure she was. And Ambien does make you do crazy things. As someone who, like I said, I work in healthcare, I see the effects that drugs take on people. We get a lot of people that come in. I've dealt with a lot of patients who, they take, these new medications they've never taken before, and they're acting completely different. It happens, it happens. But after all that, like I said, a lot of them are saying, listen, I've taken Ambien before. It doesn't make you a racist. The pharmaceutical company that makes Ambien says this, and one of the side effects of Ambien is not being a racist and all this stuff. So it's like, whatever. And, like I said, Roseanne, who has, who was always, again, and speaking of very polarizing people, again, a very polarizing comic, she, and a lot of people aren't like necessarily like defending her, but like Joe Rogan, a lot of people are getting on Joe Rogan for, a lot of his stances on it. But, like I said, he was a comic. For a lot of people forget he was a stand-up comic in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. Joe Rogan was coming up when Roseanne was on top of the world and stuff. So that was her whole thing, which is being polarizing. She's pushed the limits a lot, She's really, really rode that line between, comedy and just flat out racism a lot of the times in the past. So like I said, that's why it's kind of like, okay, this is, is it, are you making a joke, or are you actually like projecting your actual real life thoughts, which are, not chill. So that happened, and then ABC canceled the show, which is a sad thing, because it puts so many good people. And apparently it was the number one show for a lot of reasons. It was, polarizing because, like I said, it's like, is she going to say something crazy? I got to watch. It was like more shock TV, or you were hate watching it kind of thing. And so, like I said, it was a whole big debacle. But like I said, ABC canceled the show. Really sad because now it puts a lot of people out of jobs. And so... it's big. It's big, man. When it's the number one show to just be canceled just like that without any, they were. I was like the first. I think it's the first time that it was, or one of the first times where it was a very proactive move made by a major corporation like this. They didn't wait for any, sponsors to back out. They didn't wait for any backlash from anyone else. They didn't wait for anything like that. They just went and pulled the plug. So, big time deal. And like I said, it was, like I said, it's got to talk. I felt like I just had to bring it up. It's, like I said, as someone who, is a fan of comedy, I love comedy, and I'm all for anything going, as far as jokes go. Like, as for any, I know it's not the most popular, I know it's not the most popular take, but I am a proponent of anything goes in comedy. You know what I mean? Like I said, anything goes. But again, this is the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, and I've mentioned it on this podcast before. I've alluded to it a little bit earlier. The Kanye stuff and just a lot of stuff in general, and just a general rule of life. It's not necessarily what you do, but it's how you do it that matters, or that generally, that matters. It's not what you do, but it's how you do it. Because, and especially in comedy, because if you, there's like I said, there's a very, very, very fine line with comedy, as what's a joke and what's not a joke. And then there's a whole big, debate about it, like, is this, can you joke about this? Can you not joke about that? Can you say this? Can you say that? Blah, blah, blah. And you're always going to offend somebody, that's just the way it goes. You're always going to offend somebody. But, like I said, there's been tons of jokes out there that make fun of different ethnicities or different, types of people, where they make fun of how they look, and that's essentially what she was trying to do. Essentially, she was trying to make a joke about how a joke about someone's physical appearance. Those happen all the time, but it's it's the way it came off was horrible. It was horribly executed, and that's where, like I said, that's where it fell flat, and that's where it's like, hey man, this isn't just, a joke. This is like, what the fuck is up? So, like I said, there's been tons of people who have made jokes about the way people look, and there's going to be more people that do it, and it's just, it's tough, man. It's and especially in this, the social justice warrior era of everything going on. Like I said, because I am not a proponent of people having to apologize for their jokes. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's like you have to know whether when you have to know, like, whether you have to know the difference. You got to be smart enough and responsible enough to know the difference between telling a well-crafted joke or just being a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sorry to end this on a sour note. But that's, I went way longer than I thought I was gonna go with this. But it's all good. I kind of had some stuff to catch up on. Like I said, it was a big week, last week, and pretty big weekend ish. So like I said, I just wanted to cover some of the stuff. And like I said, I'll try to get back. The main thing is got to get back on track. It was a little things got a little thrown out of sorts, to say the least. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Like always, everybody, thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment, all that YouTuber bullshit. Subscribe mainly though. On SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, anywhere else you can find podcasts, I'm probably there. And if you want to follow along, if you want to follow me on my journey, as I grow as a person and through my creative outlet, you may follow me along on all the socials, or if you just want to yell at me about some shit that you don't like what I think, what I'm saying, follow along. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all that shit. I'm there. Brown Mamba Radio. My personal stuff, JXCKSXNNN. Follow along all there. And like always, shout out to the blog boys. Everything is on the blog, brownmamba.us. Everything is there. I might have to do a little update. Shout out to Squarespace for making that shit easy. If you guys, I'm looking. Hey man, I've been a very loyal Squarespace user. I tell everybody about it. So listen, you guys want to, I'm available. I'm available for business inquiries. You know what I mean? Thank you for this. This podcast was brought to you by Squarespace, making it super easy. Use the code Brown Mamba for 10% off your first year's subscription. Come on, I know how it goes. So hit me up. But anyway, like I said, thank you guys. I'll get back to you guys later in the week. I promise I'll be here at least on Friday. I know I mentioned in my finals preview, which you should check out. Maybe, I guess, I don't know, whatever, that there was something I wanted to do last Friday, but it's going to get pushed back. I'm shooting for it this Friday. So look for that. Like I said, it's a nice little thing that I've been working on. So hopefully you guys check it out. Hopefully I get it out. And then if it gets out, hopefully you guys check it out. And hopefully you guys like it. Cause, I'm working hard on this stuff. So, again, thanks for listening. Thanks for following along. Again, sorry for not being there for last Friday. I'll be back this Friday, later in the week. And, like always, guys and girls and everyone else, not just guys and girls, and everyone else that doesn't identify with any pronouns or anything like that, or they're non-gender binary, all that stuff, you know what I mean? It's Pride Month, so everyone else that identifies with whatever you identify as, whether you follow pronouns or not, you know what I mean? This is for you. Don't just have a good week, make it a good week. Drink more water. Health is wealth. Be kind to each other, please be kind to each other, everybody. It's one of the easiest things you can do is to be nice. So please be nice to each other. It is easy to be nice. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.